Welcome to this second exciting video on solving word problems using equations. Now don't forget these steps, make sure you write them down, memorize them, use them. So 1. Read the problem carefully. 2. Write down what you know. 3. Choose a variable such as A, B and C. 4. Make an equation. 5. Solve. 6. Check. And 7. State your problem. Now this area, problem solving, is a key area that lots of students have problems with. The only way to get good at it is to practice. But let's model it so you can see what to do with other problems. So here's my second example. So divide 400 into 2 parts so that twice the larger part equals 3 times the smaller part. So I already know that, okay, there's two numbers, and if I divide them into 2 parts, they'll actually equal 400. But obviously, based on the problem, one is larger than the smaller one. So I can't actually go 400 divided by 2, so 400 divided by 2 equals 200, so 200 plus 200 equals 400. It's not going to work because one's larger than the smaller. But if I add them together, L, so the larger one, plus S, the smaller one, will equal 400. So I write that down. The other thing I know is if I double the larger one, it will equal the smaller one, so 3 times the smaller one. So the next step is I want to make an equation. Now, the problem is I'm dealing with 2 terms or pronumerals, so I want to actually remove one of those pronumerals, and the best way to do that is to substitute. So I want to remove, say, this L here and just put in what it actually equals, but I've got to work that out first. So using equations, I can actually remove this 2 here and move it to the other side. So when I change the side, I change the sign. So times 2 becomes divided by 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So 3 divided by 2 equals 1.5s. So I actually can now know is L equals whatever 1.5s is. So now, have a look at this. This is wonderful. I can actually take out the L up there and put in what it equals in terms of the S. I've substituted. I've taken the L out, I've put in 1.5s. So I collect like terms and I solve the problem. So 1.5s plus another s equals 2.5s, and you probably can see what I'm about to do. I'm going to solve that problem by moving the number to the other side. So I change the side, I change the sign, so the times becomes a divide, 2.5. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So s equals 160. So you can see it's a wonderful thing, but don't forget I've got to actually work out what L equals. Once I've worked that out using equations, I can substitute that and work it out. So don't forget I've got 2 parts to this. I've actually got to go and find L, but I do know 400 equals L plus S. So I can do it a number of ways, but I'll do it this way. 400 minus 160, so I've moved that S from the right side to the other side, will give me what's ever left over. But there's a step missing. Don't forget, you want to check. So the smaller number, 160 plus 240, does that work? Yes, it does. Wonderful. So don't forget, you need to always write it down. So once you've written it down, you want to make an equation, and if you're dealing with 2 variables, you want to remove a variable by working out what that variable is, substituting it, and once you're dealing with all of the same variable, you can then obviously step through that equation to work out one of those variables. Once you've got one, you can easily and very quickly work the other one out. Good luck, write it down. I hope you work out your solutions.